Ferrari's power advantage is under fire, with its rivals seeking clarification from the FIA to be able to close the sizable gap, understood to be up to 0.8 of a second at some circuits. The Scuderia has stormed since Formula One's summer break, with all 5 poles and 3 race wins. Its power unit delivering the boost in Belgium and Italy, while the SF90 had a major upgrade in Singapore. But the focus is on the power unit, with its rivals suspecting the turbo's intercooler may allow a controlled oil leak into the combustion process, boosting performance. The teams are yet to lodge a protest. Over at Renault, the historic French marque awaits news on the FIA's investigation into an alleged preset lap distance-dependent brake bias adjustment system used at Suzuka. Racing Point submitted a detailed 12-page protest on Renault's system in Japan, which is believed to be not only automatic, but circuit-specific and corner-by-corner, when it must be manually controlled by the driver. Toro Rosso will become Alfa Tauri from next season. The name change made to promote Red Bull's emerging fashion brand, approved by the F1 Commission via e-vote. Alfa Tauri, established in 2016, is a strong fit for F1, given its focus on new fashion technologies and materials. The forward-thinking approach reflective of parent company Red Bull. The change means F1 says goodbye to the Toro Rosso name at the end of 2019. Ending a 14-year run in the sport. 2006, its debut campaign with Vitantonio Liuzzi and Scott Speed behind the wheel. Its only win scored in 2008 when Sebastian Vettel, in his first full season in F1, took victory at a wet Italian Grand Prix from pole position. Mercedes has defended its decision to stop Lewis Hamilton for a second time in Japan, which dropped him from first to third, given the Brits' tyres were going off at 0.3 of a second per lap. Hamilton pitted on lap 42 with just 10 left before the checkered flag was shown. But the tyre degradation, combined with a radio call from Hamilton, was enough to force the stop.
Now, this was an indication to us that we'd had the best of the tyre. You can keep going, but every lap will get slower and slower, and you lose out overall. At the point we had to make that decision, we didn't have all the data from all the other cars that had arrived at the end of the race.
After the stop, Hamilton was stuck behind Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel, with the squad admitting it not only needs to make its car better at overtaking, but that it should have pitted the Brit in the laps before his first stop.
Looking at the strategy, though, what we should have done was probably stop Lewis earlier, gone for an aggressive undercut. So sticking with that 2-stop, but an aggressive undercut, and that would hopefully have put Lewis ahead at the end of the first stint.
Miami has taken a step closer to joining F1, with an agreement in principle reached for a race to be hosted at Hard Rock Stadium from 2021, with a final decision from the local county expected on October 28. Hard Rock Stadium, home to iconic NFL team the Miami Dolphins, is a viable alternative to the failed Port Miami project and will see a custom-built track around the precinct. One that local authorities are getting excited about, with a joint statement issued on the event's potential. With an estimated annual impact of more than $400 million and 35,000 room nights, the Formula One Miami Grand Prix will be an economic juggernaut for South Florida. Miami's inclusion on the 2021 F1 calendar would mean the first time that the USA has hosted 2 races in a season since 1984, with just a vote from the Miami-Dade County left to clear. 2019 marks 25 years since the death of the great 3-time F1 world champion Ayrton Senna, with the anniversary of his passing on May 1st celebrated with festivals at both Interlagos and Imola.
His ability to go out and do an incredibly quick lap when it was necessary, in qualifying, for example, is extraordinary.
But fans at next month's Brazilian Grand Prix will also get to applaud the late great driver, with Sao Paulo hosting a free event at Ibirapuera Park on Saturday, November 9th, a week before the race. The event will include music and esports demonstrations, along with live car runs, featuring many of the vehicles from Senna's career. His countryman, two-time F1 world champion Emerson Fittipaldi, will be on hand to drive a number of the historic cars. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.